Hello, guys, and welcome to Raya Lover Dash's book reviews, where students and teachers talk about books. So, let's get into this book, What I Saw and How I Lied by Judy Russell. So, to get started, this book has 281 pages, and in the beginning, what you get from this book is like a vibe of academia. It is full of thriller, mystery, and suspense. And it's kind of like a fast paced in a way. In the beginning, it's a little slow paced, but it starts becoming very fast paced without like within as you start reading. And the writing style, I would say, is modern. It's like it's in this old time. It's on this old time like time zone because they're based around World War I, and it's where like the old days was based around World War I, and their writing style was more modern. So this book gives off modern in a way. So to just jump right into it, Evie and her mom live with her stepdad Joe, and her they live with Joe's mom, which is known as Grandma Glad's. Now, her mother, Evie's mother, and Grandma Glad don't necessarily get along, but they don't necessarily get along, but they still have like this connection, which is not really showed until the end of the book. But to get started, it's giving Evie's mom needs a break from Grandma Glad. Joe just gets back from the war because during this time period, a lot of guys, a lot of people's husbands and fathers were sent to, and older brothers, uncles, nephews, etc. They were sent to the war, and they were sent to the war not knowing if they were going to come back because it was very chaotic back in those time periods. So eventually, when Joe comes back, he has like this PTSD kind of energy where it's like he doesn't want to talk about it, he doesn't want to remember anything about the war, and he kind of just pushes it aside. So eventually, he decides to, after he gets a phone call from an unknown guy, he starts to want to pack up and just leave. He wants to take a vacation to Florida. He takes a vacation specifically to Long Beach with his family, his wife, and his stepdaughter, Evie. They end up in Long Beach in this hotel. It's kind of dry out there because in the book, they it like that hotel Long Beach is not really crowded until Christmas time. So they were kind of like the only ones, and that's when they met this couple, the Graysons, who who end up being like a huge part of their vacation, who's like they talk to a lot. And if you haven't noticed, basically this is surrounded by them on vacation. Like the plot is what happens to like while they're on vacation, and the secrets of what went on during the war, and just it just secrets just keep unfolding basically. So they meet the Graysons, they meet this couple, they start chopping it up with this couple, and eventually Joe and Mr. Grayson come up with this deal plan. Now Joe, he already owns a few properties, and he wanted to go into business with owning a hotel with the Graysons. And while they're chopping up that deal and while they're figuring out a plan for that, they meet this guy, Peter. Now, beforehand, before the family met Peter, Evie had already met Peter at a dance at like the pool. It was kind of an awkward situation. She was upset about something, and she threw her shoes in the water, and they had kind of made conversation from there because he had said something, and he had started naming coming up with these little nicknames for her, and called her Pussycat. So the book really has like this unique style of writing and this unique um, way of unraveling the plot. And I ideally really liked this book. And moving forward, the after she meets Peter, her family meets Peter the next day, and her family, well, her mom takes a liking to Peter, but it's Joe, her stepfather, who doesn't. It seems like Joe and Peter have like this tension, and Peter comes off as welcoming him from knowing him in the war, but as I said before, Joe doesn't want to remember anything from the war. He doesn't talk about the war. He likes to shut it out. So Joe is coming with all this like shutting out energy, and Peter is coming to him with all this welcoming, talking about the war and wanting to bring it up to Joe type. So there's already kind of tension between that, and Joe doesn't like Peter. And eventually Peter starts taking Evie and Evie's mom on these little dates things. Like he took them to the movies, they went to the beach, they like they're having these little outgoings, and her mom is like saying, let's keep it between us, like not telling her stepfather that they are going on these little dates with Peter. So during this time period, Evie, she has like this mindset of she wanted to be like her mom. She was tired of being, as she feels, treated like a little kid. She says, and I quote, her mother dresses her like a child. In the book, she is 16, and she's stating how she feels like she's being treated younger than, her age. So she's eager to experience things that she hasn't before. And her and Peter eventually, like, they share a kiss or two, and they become to have like this like little love story going on. But there is a third party that is introduced in the end, and I feel like if when you're reading this book you can already sense this third party, but there's a third party. And not only that, towards the end of the book, there was like this storm, and one day Joe decided to take Peter and Evie's mom on a trip, on like a boat trip to go fishing, because Peter was used to talk about how he was really good with fishing and with the boat and things like that. Mind you, his parents are fishermen, but he's giving like this different story to everyone else. But supposedly there was this deal in which Joe owed Peter some money. So now, before I go into detail on that, back to the boat. Joe is eager to go on this boat trip with them, okay? Mind you, there's a storm going on, and there's precautions when he's purchasing this boat. It is said that he knew of the precautions because he was asking about like boat hose or like storm hose for like if the storm got too much, where they could hide out at. And so they went on this trip. They took Peter had this weary look, so did her mom, and eventually they don't come back. Not the next day, the day after that, or the day after that, they're kind of like missing. The storm gets worse. People start evacuating from the hotel, and the Graysons, the couple that they were like buddy with, and like they had a good connection with. A few days prior, they had got kicked out for being Jews because, like I said, this was following back in the old times, around centering around World War I, and it was a lot of racism towards Jews and colors and, like, black people. So it was a lot, like, African Americans. It was a lot of it was a lot of it's a lot of it's a lot of um it's a lot of things going on in this book. It's like thriller, mystery, academia, suspense, all in one. It's the full package deal. And basically they no longer have the deal. So it's like it's a lot that's going on that leads up to them going on this boat and going missing during the storm. So yeah, people are evacuating. Her parents has not came back. A cop comes and tells them that they're trying to find a hold of her parents, but so far it wasn't looking good. They couldn't find them nowhere. They had safety boats going out for them, and it was very chaotic. So I'm not going to spoil the end of what happened on that boat, but let's just say it was very chaotic. Now, I would give this book a good 9 out of 10. And I say this because I did not I love this book overall. That's why it's such a high number. But I did not enjoy the ending. The ending kind of upsetted me. It was kind of sad. But yeah, I think I would recommend this book to many others. It's really good, but again, this is What I Saw and How I Lied by Judy Russell. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys can like and subscribe on the bottom, and stay tuned for the next one. Bye.